Hey yo, what is going on guys? Cash and Clean here, and if you remember last video I talked about the weeklies that you would get, like the lunar souls, titan souls, and stuff like that. I wanted this one to be more of like a part 2 because we do have our contest stuff, and this is all going to be part of your weeklies too, and they're pretty important. So I guess this will be catered to you new players or returning players, or even if you're an endgame player and want to check this video out, then feel free to. But they changed the contest stuff around a little bit, so we have like some delve stuff, like deepest public delve as bard. A lot of it is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really have to go over it, but I do want to talk about like the main important parts. So for example, at the time of me recording this, we're going to have 3 classes here, and this will rotate every single week. So what you want to do is, if you have all 3 classes, you want to get all of the score that you possibly can, because you will get all the empowered gem boxes and the bound brilliance. These are all untradeable items, and you do want to get as many of these as you can. So you get 4 of these and 7 of these, and you can do it 3 times with all 3 classes here. You will have to have them unlocked, that's the only unfortunate part, but if you do have them unlocked, then you can feel free to do all of them. It'll take you a couple hours max the most, and you have an entire week to do it, so even if you don't have a lot of time to play, maybe you can find some time during the week to finish this up. Now, in order to get the score, before this used to be power rank based, but they changed it to score. So you can think of these as like playing the class. And I'm going to put up screenshots on the screen right now of all the ways you guys can get points to get the score. And then everything after the score is just going to be your rank, so how often you're doing all of these. So this is going to be all of the stuff, but there are 2 good categories you can do to get the most amount of points, and that's going to be your hourly challenges and delves. Now, if you're struggling to do delves, I highly recommend doing /join delve, and then maybe you can find some people in there, maybe you can host something, maybe you can try to invite other people that are strong enough. Try to advertise like iFair runs, Crystal 5 runs. You would have to do 115 plus delves, but if you're not strong enough, maybe you can invite some people that are strong enough, or if you're in a club. And speaking of clubs, if you guys do want to join Lazaria, let me know. I'll leave a link to the club Discord in the description down below. You guys can apply there or find me in game. If you do want to invite, just DM me or ping me in the club Discord server, just so we can find like the right time for me to invite you guys, because it's going to be kind of hard to find the exact time that we're both online at the same time. I'm like almost always on around nighttime, and I'm from America, so if you're from Europe, it's probably going to be your morning time, and then if you're in other parts of the world, then I'm not too sure. Anyway, going back to the contest here. So there's going to be 3 of them, they'll rotate. This one's going to be permanent, and this is just going to be doing the club quests. So if you are curious, just take the blue portal in Lazaria, and once you're in this room, all you want to do is go through here, and I can just activate them for you guys if you really do need them. So I'll just summon them. So in case any of you guys watch this video, you can feel free to make use of this. Or if you're in other clubs, it doesn't have to be this one. You don't even have to be in the club. You can just go to random clubs and just take their quest. And what you want to do is get into the top 1000 for the golden chaos chest. And if you're missing a lot of chaos cores, this is going to be really handy for you. Next up, we got Bomba Royale. This is pretty self-explanatory, although I don't remember this being damage done. I thought this was just Bomba Royale wins or something. Next up, we got the XP. You can honestly get this super quick. The main thing is the 9th lives. The boxes are pretty handy as well. Mastery and delves, we can kind of skip over that. So these 2 over here are always going to switch every week. For this one, we have Infinium, and then here we have the weekly companion eggs. If you want to farm Infinium, I usually have the best luck either in Drown World in the Fey Forest area, or you can go to Candoria. So as you can see, I'm in the Fey Forest area. D14 doesn't really matter which difficulty you're in, but just the Fey Forest biome, and you can find some Infinium there. You can also find them in Candoria, so you can just go to either or. And for the companion eggs, this is pretty tricky because if you're brand new, this is going to be really difficult to do. But you want to go into the Geode Sanctuary, then you want to go down to this area where you have 3 portals. I personally just go to Moonglow Grotto, but it's up to you on which one you want to go to. And I highly recommend getting this mod and this mod. Those are the names, they're on Trovosaurus if you want to check them out. I'm pretty sure there's a newer up-to-date version of these ones. So if you look through Steam or Trove Tools, you can probably find one there. But if you do want to use mine, then you can go over to my mods video. I'll link that in the description down below as well. And you can look for the ones that specifically say those. It's just the Tmod file. Now, I'm not going to go through the caves because it's going to be pretty boring and it's not as fun. I don't really recommend doing this one, but if you do need the resources, then I would say go ahead and do it. You're gonna have to collect a lot of eggs, and you will have to have your modules maxed. Well, you don't have to have it maxed, but it is really helpful. And I will put out a geode guide in the future, so stay on the lookout for that. But just go through the caves and you'll eventually find the bronze egg. Now, I know it's not listed here, but there is another one for boxes open. I'm just going off of the ones that I remember off the top of my head. There is a chance I will forget one, and in case I do, I'll drop it down in the comments down below. And if this ever gets updated or something changes, then I'll just make a new video on it covering that. And I'm not going to get into the delve stuff too much because it's pretty self-explanatory, because this one's obviously just bard public delves. You'll find the public delves over here. That's going to be the green portal. And then these don't really do anything. It's just for the ego potions. This is your paragon level. So after level 30, you have these levels. So if you're able to farm XP, you can go for that. And then this is just the highest paragon level in general. So it's probably just going to be tied in with this one. So candy barb. But the cool thing about these is that you actually get empowered gem boxes as well. So you can get a ton of them if you stack up everything, if you have all the classes. Doing ships is really good for XP, and if you're ever stuck, I do have XP guides on my channel, so feel free to check those out. But anyway, I'm going to go over the other ones. So there's boxes open. That's pretty easy. Just basically open boxes. All you have to do is click open. You're most likely going to be farming gem boxes, so you can open up those. And then you'll get these along with it, so you can open up these as well. And then if you're doing delves, you'll get these and these boxes, and then maybe some chaos chests along the way. There is another one called enemies defeated. So basically what you want to do for that one is just defeat enemies. So as you're doing dungeons, that's going to count. So while you're farming gem boxes and stuff, if you do delves, it's gonna be pretty easy that way because you'll have to clear the objective and you'll go through a bunch of enemies that way. So this one is weekly experience earned for clubs. There is another one just for quests specifically. I think it's not counting the club ones. So those are gonna be limited to how many you can do per day. But basically just do all of your adventure quests. I know Neon City has a few of them, and then there's a couple in the elemental worlds, and then there's also a couple in the geode area. So the trick with this one is that once you reach the max amount of quests, right before you reach the max, you want to accept 3 more quests or however many you can. And then once you accept them, you can just complete them and you can go over the limit a little bit. All of that might not make sense, but there is a limit to how many of these quests you can do, and you can accept more than 1 quest. So once you're on that final one, go ahead and accept as many as you can and then just complete them, and then you'll be able to go a little bit overboard. As far as just getting like the basic ones, you can easily do that, but if you want to go above and beyond, then you can feel free to do that. There's one for weekly dungeons completed and weekly world bosses completed. That one's also pretty self-explanatory. There's more world bosses in the Forbidden Spires area, but you can get that done pretty easily, just farm gem boxes or something like that. And I believe that is all the quests that I can think of, at least. Somebody's probably yelling that I missed like an obvious one or something, but I honestly cannot remember. Whatever it ends up being, I'll just drop it down in the comments down below. I guess sometimes for events, you can check out the daily contests. Sometimes they have other things there. I know Bunfest had something up here, so sometimes check out the daily contests. I think that's gonna be it though. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back. And like always, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing, and I will talk to you all later.